I think as a people, we have a pretty good idea about what apology is all about because we tend to do it in our interpersonal relationships with each other. There's a great movie, well, not that great of a movie, but a movie from 1970 called Love Story with Ali McGraw and Ryan O'Neal, where there's this great line, "Love means never having to say you're sorry." Interestingly enough, it's the number 13 greatest line of all time, according to the American Film Institute. But those of us that have ever been in a real relationship know that love means always having to say you're sorry, even at times when maybe you don't think you did anything wrong. It's a way that we preserve relationships, build relationships, and keep them going. And so I think in a lot of ways we can identify with what's happening when we see people in the public sphere apologizing. We have a sense of it, we understand it. And clearly there's no shortage of people that are engaging in these kinds of apologies. We have politicians, celebrities, athletes, religious leaders, corporations, and they're all apologizing for a variety of different things, ranging from sexual infidelity to deception to violence to ripping microphones from poor Taylor Swift's hands during the Video Music Awards. It just varies, and you see it everywhere. What's interesting is that not only are these kinds of events very prominent, you tend to see them every week or every month. There's so many of them. We tend to gravitate toward them, and we tend to be very interested in them. This slide behind me shows an example of some of the more prominent apologies we've had over the last few years and the number of YouTube hits that the clips of their apologies have generated online. And what better measure of the viral nature of a video than how many clips that how much attention it receives on YouTube. Interestingly enough, these numbers sometimes dwarf the number of hits that things that should probably be getting more attention, such as State of the Union addresses, political debates. These numbers tend to dwarf those numbers. And I think that attests to how interested we are in them. But despite our interest in these kinds of rhetorical events, these apologies, I don't think we understand them very well. And a pretty good evidence of this is a recent survey by Surveys USA. They asked the general public, how many of you thought Lance Armstrong was being honest in his interview with Oprah Winfrey? 17% said they felt he was being honest. 39% said, no, I don't think he's being honest. And 44% said, we're not really sure. So what that tells me is that people, when they're watching these apologies, they don't really know what they're looking for. They're not really sure what makes for an effective apology.